Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. You might notice a little different look for the studio right now. Where we film the Bryan Devore Connection, there are two studios, and we happen to be in one of the other ones right now, and it's kind of cool. I'm really excited about it. Mark's getting us all set up for this studio, and I'm excited about our first guest who's going to be in the studio with me. Her name is Erica Sell, and she owns Harmony Home Medical. Erica, how you doing today?
I am great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thanks for coming today. So you and I have known each other for a little while, and I've always been fascinated by what you do. We kind of kid about it being sort of a toy store for older adults. So let's talk about Harmony Home Medical, but first talk about how you got into this business.
Yes, so Harmony Home Medical is a medical equipment company, and I grew up working in my mom's medical equipment store, which naturally meant I wanted nothing to do with medical equipment when I left the home. So my mom had a crisis in her business after I had graduated college in embezzlement, and I went up there to help, and as an adult, I got to do the really cool things, which was going into people's homes, measuring for custom equipment, and really learning the things that people don't know so much about. And I asked, like, why is this nowhere for people to see? Her business was insurance-based in a warehouse, and no one got to come in and look at this stuff. And it was only for the third-party payers that covered it, which is not Medicare. So I thought, let's make a retail version of this. Let's show people what their options are, because they need to know, regardless of whether insurance is going to cover it or not. People need to know about stair lifts. They need to know about roll-in showers, walk-in tubs, ceiling lifts. So the idea was born to showcase it.
That's awesome. And you have two locations now. So two retail locations, one in Claremont Mesa and the other one, the brand new one in Vista, correct?
Yeah, we sure do.
Great. So one of the things we talked about is solving problems for older adults. And you solve some specific problems, some needs they have. Talk about that.
Yeah. So we help people age in place, which means live in the home of their choice. A lot of people want to live in their primary residence that they may have raised their children in or have lived in for many years. We do that a lot, and we help them care for each other or help them get caregiver assistance in home with things like full electric hospital beds, the right transfer system that's really important, patient lifts, ceiling lifts, different styles of patient lift. So we help them get the products that are going to let them have mobility and safety with as much ease as possible. And it doesn't have to be in a home that they raise their kid in or their primary one. It can also be transitioning to assisted living, independent living. Just the main goal is to keep them out of skilled nursing and hospital settings.
Got it.
Yeah, and there's just a plethora of equipment from simple to complicated that people, they may know about some, but they probably don't know about all the options and then how they work together to support each other. So, and with that, because we were looking at shower transfers and second story settings, we got into home access, which not only includes the products, but we also get into some of the modifications, some of the construction and the changes in the home, like custom ramping, grab bars, roll-in showers, to make sure that people can utilize the bathroom once they get upstairs with their stair lift.
Got it. So as we're seeing right now is a big ballooning of the generations that need this type of equipment. The baby boomers are getting older, the greatest generation is getting older, and a lot of them do live in the homes that they've lived in for 30, 40 years. A lot of the ones that I work with are transitioning into maybe assisted living or independent living, but a lot of them want to stay home. But they can't necessarily do it safely the way it is. Even if it's a one-story home, they're going to need some modifications and so forth. So when you're working with someone, generally are they just coming in because of a need that came up, and then how do you counsel them?
Usually. Yeah, we see, I'd say maybe 50-50. I know this is coming and I want to get the next product or next step for my safety or my parents' safety. And 50%, I'm in crisis mode, mom's coming home today, and I need something now. And so we ask a lot of questions. It always starts with questions with their mobility, their diagnosis or prognosis, their environment setting to guide them to the right products and services. And then also a little bit of counseling in, I know this maybe lift chair and stair lift are expensive, but if we spend, say, $15,000 on equipment and home outfitting, we can keep someone in their home on average, a year at minimum to 5 years longer than going to a skilled care setting where the cost is in San Diego $6,000 to $15,000 a month.
Adding up.
Yeah, so with 1 month spend at a facility like that, we can outfit their home between equipment and construction to really provide care there. So it depends at what stage they're coming to us at, and some people are already down that education path of, I know I need to do this, and I know there'll be some expense to it, but I understand the big picture. And some people come at us with no idea at all. They haven't looked into the cost of what, if home care doesn't work, looks like. And so there can be a lot longer conversation and a lot of referral network partners also to help educate and give resources. So in both stores, we have a big resource wall where we have partners and people we trust that can give those answers on things like moving and home care, home health, assisted living, because it's a community, and all those roles matter.
Right. It really takes a village. One thing I've learned over the last 7 years that I've been, kind of focusing on working with seniors is it really does take a village, because it's not just one thing they're experiencing. It's several things at once. One thing may trigger it, but then the other things come into play, and especially safety at home. I like what you said that, unfortunately some people do come to you when it's crisis mode, but I love hearing the fact that there are people who do come to you before that when they're making their preparations. Let's do a little bit deeper dive into some of the products you have. You did a presentation to a group that I was at a week or two ago, I think, and you were showing some of the beds you have. I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff out there right now.
Yeah, so beds are big. Full electric hospital beds is one of the things that we advocate the most, which means the height goes up and down from the ground. I have a lot of clients that will come in after they made the wrong decision, and they got an adjustable bed with the head and foot that articulate. And here they are 6 months or a year down the road of a bed that should last them like 10 to 20 years, but they can't get out of it. They can't get out of it because it's at a fixed height. So we sell not only hospital beds, but adjustable beds that don't look like hospital beds. And then we sell long-term care beds, which means it's almost kind of in the middle. They look nicer than hospital beds, but they have all the functions of something you find in a hospital. So really high, they do sloping, you can add a scale. So beds is a big category because people spend a lot of time in bed, especially as they get older, and they've got to be able to get safely out of bed to start their day. So that one, and then patient lifts, if we are going to an assisted transfer, becomes big. And then looking at all those things, how they go together, and then also new and used. So a lot of people don't know that we carry a ton of used equipment.
Okay.
And so we can help create outcomes between the wheelchair, which is another big area where there's a ton of options, and I get a lot of people choosing the wrong one. They're just choosing something offline that's got a seat, like 90-degree seat and backrest, and then they find, that their posture has become like this over the years, and it's because none of us can sit like this all day, and we'll naturally start to do that. So helping people with seating and positioning, transfers, comfortable bedding, and then showering and toileting. Those are our main categories. And in showering and toileting, there's some neat products where we can create a roll and shower without doing modifications by putting a track system over it and slide the bench across.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and there's ones where they can transfer in the bathroom and it's pretty simple, or there's ones where it's a wheelchair that goes into the bedroom where you transfer safely, and then you roll it into the bathroom, click it in the track, and slide it across. So there's
lots of options.
And that's why it's helpful to really work with experts to help you get it right the first time, because no one, even if there's a return policy online, I've never had my clients really be able to box up their wheelchair or power chair that didn't work and send it back to Amazon or wherever.
Right.
So I get that a lot. I get trade-in and sales stuff a lot, and we try to be helpful as possible with giving value for equipment that we can maybe resell to the right person. But it's really just the best to just come in and get advice at a place that has it all and knows it all at the gate, at least to do your research.
Right, for sure. Well, and you are CAPS certified, so CAPS, Certified Aging in Place Specialist. Mm-hmm. So that means you know a lot more than a lot of people do. That's a hard certification to get, but it really does show the expertise you have, the affinity you have for helping people, and I can see people ordering stuff online because they think that's what they should have, but there's a cost in getting the wrong equipment.
Yeah, and not having anywhere to take it to get it fixed too, or to back up their warranties. Another
Right.
big deal.
Yeah.
So, and yes, the certified aging in place specialist, I have that. And then the ATP is the assistive technology professional. And that's all about seating and positioning. So those custom chairs, like I say the Christopher Reeves chairs, but they can be very complicated or simpler. But combining the equipment expertise with the environment expertise, and then sharing that education and getting my staff to go through that education as well. So I'm not the sole person that can do that. We have team members, that can help people look at all the details, because it's not just the individual, it's not just the home, it's how that individual functions inside the home.
Right. And all the other resources you bring to the table are amazing. Your information is on screen for those people who are watching on video. If you are listening to this as a podcast on Spotify or what have you, then it's in the caption. But all of Erica's information is there. Go to her website. You can see some of the products, see the different locations. Both are conveniently located pretty close to a freeway. So, Erica, thank you very much for coming in and sharing all your expertise and what's available for people.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure.
My pleasure, too.